Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. I just had to show off this backpack. And this is the GoPro Karma. Actually, I'm so excited, and I wish it was a little bit less cloudy, but so excited. Got out here at sunrise because I couldn't sleep, and I've been thinking, how is this thing going to perform? Check out my unboxing video. You can see everything that's in the box, but the more I've thought about it, I've gotten more excited. But ultimately, what'll make or break this rather is the field test. So let's reposition this camera so you can see every piece of the setup here. Because this is, if you've watched any of my previous field test videos for other drones, you know that I don't doctor anything up. It is how it is. Now obviously it's safe, I'm in a responsible location, it's all that's in play, but I go at this from the perspective that I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't. But one thing's for sure, I've charged everything, I've updated the firmware. Check out my GoPro Karma firmware update tutorial video. I was very, very impressed with the ease of firmware update. Now you can see when you take it out of the backpack, pop, 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 pop. Already got the GoPro charged, everything's charged. All the firmware's updated as I just mentioned. Controller's charged. We're gonna put the props on. Actually, I may keep the landing gear as is while I put the props on. Directional indicator. Keep in mind on these, the directional indicator is for lock. I think on the Phantom it may have been for unlock. If I remember correctly. I don't have my Phantom out here with me. And there's black and silver, and you just put them on the corresponding motor. Hand tighten. It does come with a tool, but I think that tool is because I did read the manual, and I think that tool's if they become stuck. So I don't know if that's really necessary, unless they become stuck. Now obviously I've got 2 spare props. Easy on. Get a good picture of this for my 400orbelow.com website. I mean, this thing looks slick. A lot of people say, "Oh man, it looks like a shampoo bottle," and I can see that. But let's see how this shampoo bottle flies. I will be filming at 4K, 30 frames per second. The next piece is to pop out the landing gear. Look, boom, boom. And now, I can close this. What's cool about this case too is in theory, I should be able to take off and land from this case. The case below it's for my camera that I've got around my neck. So now, let's move this tripod back. Again, this is a true field test. If you're the impatient type, you may not be patient enough to watch this video, which is perfectly acceptable. So, I'm not jazzing this up. I'm just doing an authentic field test here. Okay, I think that looks good. I don't have my film crew with me. It's too early. They're worn out. Aloha. Okay. So now what we're going to do is look at this controller right here. Power it on. A GoPro, built-in screen. How cool is that? I'm excited to test this in sunny conditions to see, since there's no screen protector, at least that comes with it, how well does it perform in strong sun. Stay tuned for that. Turn on the GoPro Karma. Stand over here so you can see the lights and whatnot. So it did beep, beep, beep. You got green on the camera end and red on the rear as far as lights are concerned. Those are actually very bright. They look, to me, they look a little bit brighter than the Phantom. Not that that's, you know, a thing to say that, oh, this drone may be better than Phantom. Again, video quality, video stability at 4K, 30 frames per second, and just the overall feel of the controls. That's what'll make or break it for me. So what we're going to do now within the app, you can see here it says Karma. Push up. Swipe up to begin, it says. Oh wow. Now I can see I've got my, it says compass interference, move to a new location or recalibrate. So it's probably because I'm on top of that, you know, anything that's metal may interfere with the drone. So I'm going to move it off of that and recalibrate. Or it could be my case below. Even on the grass, the camera is not making contact with anything. Now it says compass calibration required, so I'm going to do the compass calibration. Never done this. It just says make sure no magnets or metal objects are near the drone. While holding Karma level with the horizon, turn slowly in a circle. Okay. I'm going to put my camera off my neck. Compass calibrated successfully.
Ready to start. Press and hold the start-stop button.
So the controller has built-in audio. That's kind of cool. You could hear it talking. It said press and hold the start button. You can see here as I've set the settings on my camera, as I mentioned, 4K 30 wide, so my GoPro's ready. Before I take off, I'm going to push this button. This is a touchscreen, so it should be recording. It says video mode, capture video, 4K 30. Okay, that was to view the settings. I think to initiate recording, I probably push this button, and I do. Now it's recording. You can see right there, it's counting up. So it says press and hold start to start the motors. I'm going to get out of the screen so you can see the drone.
3,
2, 1. Ready for takeoff. Tap to auto takeoff.
Karma is flying to a safe height.
Oh, cool. So far, so good, huh? Okay, now let's see what this thing can do. Very fluid turns, or pans I should say. This control feels super responsive, this controller rather. It says flight time remaining 17 minutes and 58 seconds. Let's start out with a controlled hover. Let's bring this close to me, and without manipulating the controls, let's see how stable or unstable this is. There's next to no wind right now. I do notice in my screen right now a little bit of upward drift. Now it seems to have stopped, but there is some upward drift. So from that perspective, I am seeing when it's hovering, at least with this current firmware, that there is more visible drift than I've seen with a Phantom 3 or a Phantom 4. And you can see that within this video right here. One thing worth mentioning is the audio. GoPro camera has audio, so I'm excited to see if I've captured this audio with the camera. Obviously I wouldn't want flying audio, but the fact that it has audio means that I can sync the video in post and then mute that audio, leaving this audio that's professionally recorded with this professional mic. So if you really want to synchronize your face on video with your drone footage, Okay, that's enough of the boring talk. Let's move around here. Let's see, let's kind of check the speed of this. We're gonna go down this field here. It accelerates very fast. To me, it seems to be, okay, that seemed very stable. As I mentioned previously, I really like those very bright, I'm assuming they're LEDs. Those lights are very easy to see. They're a lot more visible than the LEDs on the Phantom 3 or the Phantom 4. When I'm flying forward, everything looks very, very crisp here. I did a turn, going fast, full speed. And then I'm going to take a turn. See how it handles stability there, the video. I like the way this feels. Now, and ultimately, when we look at this video, that's what's going to tell us how well or how poorly this performs. Now, there's a dog over here, so let's not scare the dog, but let's go to a safe altitude. And now let's test our gimbal wheel. Gimbal wheel's on the left side of the controller. Okay, and actually it's inverse. So when I push up, it goes down. And I'm going to check the controller settings because I may be able to flip-flop that. Personal preference for me is to have it the other way. If I pull down, it goes down. So that's going to be a setting I explore at a later time. This is just the first field test. Been recording for 3 minutes and 52 seconds. I show us a flight time of 14 minutes and 28 seconds remaining. The dog is taking a dump in the field. Let's get a little bit closer, but not disturb. I think I disturbed. He's burying it there, see? He's like, ha ha ha. He's like, that's a GoPro karma, dude. Yep, it is. And I bet I can probably change the gimbal wheel speed too. Although when I go down like that, I can slowly push it, it goes slowly. Or if I push it really hard, it goes fast. So I'm assuming, like a Phantom, that's probably adjustable. What has impressed me the most is that with this controller, the tactile feel of it is just so great. It feels like a video game controller. It feels better than any controller I've used for a drone to date. So from that perspective, I'm very happy. Now obviously, throughout the duration of this flight, I have not noticed loss of FPV, which I haven't gotten far away, and I've maintained visual line of sight to be safe and responsible. One of the things about the Karma that people have complained about, and some of those complaints I question, because I mean this thing just now started shipping for production, so you know there's a lot of pre-release units that people have been quote unquote reviewing, and I don't feel that it's fair to review a product that is not yet a production product, a product that one can go to their favorite retail store that sells GoPro Karma and pick up. So, you know, with that being said, I've been nothing but super stoked so far with this. And again, 4K 30 frames per second. Have not downloaded the video to my computer yet. Have I seen props within the camera's field of view? That's something that we're going to test right now. So I'm going really fast. And now I'm going to gimbal all the way down, which there should be no props in that scenario, but then gimbal all the way up. Now let's do it in reverse. And now let's get a little bit of altitude, obviously safe altitude. And let's, okay, gimbal is all the way up. It's 0 degrees, it says. I like that it shows the thing. So if we're going to get props, one would expect those props to appear in this scenario. Let's do some wobbly flight here. Let's do some rapid turns. See if we can get these props in the camera's field of view. Could do a spin. I mean, this is ridiculous flying that nobody that's trying to capture a video would attempt. But what I'm attempting here is to just test the ability of this drone to avoid propellers in the field of view. Worth mentioning, and I don't think I mentioned this previously, at least within this video, this drone does not have obstacle avoidance, which is not a problem for me, but if you're someone that likes to fly in safe and tight places, you know, places where there may be tree branches, etc., that could be something that, you know, you may better enjoy a Phantom 4. The tactile feel of this controller, as I've mentioned already, is just, it's remarkable. My only complaint so far, and that's, again, without having seen the downloaded footage, my only complaint so far is the slight drift when it was in a hover. You know, with the Phantom 3 Pro or the Phantom 4, I was able to accomplish what looked like a tripod because it was so smooth. I'm hovering at a greater altitude now, obviously a safe and responsible altitude, but let's kind of pan around here and see if we can see the sunrise over there. So I'm just hovering, you know, obviously maintaining line of sight, but looking to see if there's a noticeable drift. And in the screen, I'm not seeing a noticeable drift, which is great. The other thing will be when I download this video, is to look at the fisheye. You know, how's the fisheye? Okay, let's fly left and right and see how this flight looks. This is really cool, especially if you're at a beach or somewhere and you want to just go right in front of the sand, flying in this direction. By the way, the controls, the default settings of the controls, with exception of the gimbal wheel, are exactly the same as the Phantom. So if you've flown a Phantom 3, Phantom 4, or previous model Phantoms, the way that you manipulate the controls of the aircraft feel exactly the same. Now, I want to see if there's some advanced flight modes on here. It's something I haven't explored yet, but I think there's, it's like a circle me or something along those lines. I'm going to bring this to lower altitude just in case something goes awry. I don't want to crash my investment, but let's see. Auto shot. Okay, I was getting to a lower altitude to test that. So you've got droney, cable cam, reveal, and orbit. Now I may not have enough battery for this initial field test to test all of these, but let's try an orbit. That was something that seemed to work quite well with Phantom 3 Pro and Phantom 4, but I was unimpressed with the orbit with some other drones that I've tried. So let's do orbit, and it says, just gives a visual representation of a guy on a rock. A, B, and so it shows you a visual representation of how this should work, which is nice. So it says fly over center point and tap A to set position. Okay, that orbit mode is ridiculously simple, and you can see it's still orbiting. So all I had to do to quickly explain it, I can adjust the speed of it, by the way. So now it's at about a medium speed. I'm going to put it at fast. Let's see how fast it can orbit. So this is top orbit speed right now. All I had to do, I had to select point A, which was where I was standing, or you know, if you're filming an object in the middle. So I went over that object. In this case, it was me. I set point A. Then I flew out, you know, the radius from the center of the point, I flew out and I set point B, and then I hit start. It was that simple. And you can see this is working flawlessly. So let's go ahead and pause. You can pause the orbit, or you can end the orbit. So I'm going to end the orbit. I've got an expected 4 minutes and 42 seconds of battery life remaining. My camera has been recording for 12 minutes and 16 seconds. Let's try another flight mode. Let's do a droning. It gives you these little cool animations before stuff begins. They've really put a lot of quality touches into this design. I really like it. So we're going to do a droney. So in theory, what should happen, it says fly Karma to the start point. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to get me a droney, a selfie. I'm going to get this right here. I'm going to position my camera. I'm at a negative 36-degree angle right now. It says fly Karma to start point and hit A. I mean, this is very intuitive. This is so intuitive. I love it. So you can hit A. And now it says tap the play button. It said distance set to 300 feet. So it's going to do a droney. I'm going to hit play. It's going up. Oh, that is cool. So it's basically flying kind of at a, if you can imagine like a pyramid. If you're walking up the side of a pyramid, it's doing that kind of flight path. Obviously there's a pause button, you know, should I want to pause it.
Battery is low.
Oh, Karma's battery is low. Okay, so we're going to pause this. We're going to end this. Don't want to take any chances. I mean, not that, I mean, obviously I'm flying safely and safe and responsible location, but you know, with that low battery remaining, now it says 2 minutes and 46 seconds. I don't want to be a hero. A hero, get it, GoPro? I don't want to be a hero and crash my drone because my battery, I mean, if you've flown the Phantoms, you know that when battery gets low, you have a feel.
Battery is very low. Returning to the launch location.
Okay, so it says it's very low, returning to the launch location. Okay, we're going to go ahead and land. Okay, I'm going straight down. It says I've got 2 minutes, 1 minute and 59 seconds. I'll bring it over here and land it to where you can see it in the camera. Okay, so we're going to land. Actually, there's a land button on here. Let's try the land button. Can you see it in the frame? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do the land button. Return to launch. No, we don't want to do any of that. I just want to land it. Or actually, I guess I could return to launch because that's so the launch location. Let's see what this does. That, my friends, is impressive. Did you see that? And we can look at the camera from where I took off. I mean, I did return to, and now it says Karma's battery is too low for takeoff. Recorded for 15 minutes, 20 seconds. Flight time remaining of 1 minute and 12 seconds. I'm going to hit stop on the top to stop recording. Camera stopped recording, and now I'm going to power off the drone and then power off my controller. First, I'm going to get a really cool picture here. Yep, so I'm going to bring this over here. We're going to pack everything up. I'm going to show you how easy takedown this thing is. So, bring the camera closer, get some more depth here. More detail, rather. Again, first field test with the Karma from a pure flying, ease of flying perspective, performance of everything out of the box. I am stoked. Now, again, the video quality is what's king for me. So that I can't really see until I download these videos and edit them. using the same 4K 30 workflow that I use for my other videos. Other videos being Phantom 3 Pro, Phantom 4, this Sony that I got around my neck. So let's turn this off. Top button. Propellers. Again, this directional indicator is to lock, so you're going to want to go in the opposite direction. And depending upon
Lost connection.
the color of the nipple in the middle, that dictates which way it's locked versus unlocked. So just twist off. Super simple. If you've ever screwed a propeller on a DJI Phantom, you're going to feel right at home with the experience. And then we just pop our, again, the legs closest to the camera, pop them in. The landing gear. I was concerned about that. I didn't know, especially landing in, and this was short grass, but I didn't know how well this would keep the GoPro off the ground. It did a marvelous job. And the self-landing was very smooth. I'm going to keep these props isolated because they're the unused ones, the spares. I've always liked to use the same props. So, you know, don't use those unless I've lost and or damaged one or the other. So I'll just keep these kind of beside, and then that way I'll know they're the spares, unused. Make sure there's no grass or anything on this. There's not. This goes in like so. This piece I kept, and I would probably encourage, I would definitely encourage you to do the same. This just slides over the front of the camera to better prevent shifting while in transport. The controller. I flew an entire battery, you know, down to almost a minute remaining. So shows fully charged. So one that has multiple batteries should be able to expect with this controller to fly multiple flights. How many flights before having to recharge a controller? To be tested. Put that in there. I mean, wow. Perfect experience. And then, I mean, the video is going to be the make or break for me. I mean, I've been thoroughly impressed with my first field test, GoPro Karma. So the size, the weight, yeah, I wish this was a little bit smaller, but do I? Because if it was smaller, it may not be able to handle wind. Today, unfortunately, there was next to no wind, so it's going to be interesting to see how well the Karma performs in a windier condition, in windier conditions rather. To be tested when there's wind. But for a baseline, you know, right before sunrise, on a cloudy day with next to no wind, this will be a good place to start with field testing the Karma. So tell me what you think. Check out 400orbelow.com. I'm going to post everything Karma there. Not just Karma, but other drones too. I mean, I'm not married to DJI, I'm not married to GoPro, but I like both of their products. And I can now say that I like the GoPro drone before I downloaded the footage. And I feel confident this is a GoPro camera, it's probably going to be great quality. So, yeah, this has been fun. And I ordered it with one battery because my gut was telling me if I didn't like it, you know, I've spent less money. And then also, if I ordered it with more than one battery, sometimes the bundles tend to ship more slowly than the ones without all the extra gear. So, who knows? I got it. I'm happy with it. And tell me what you think. What do you want me to test next? Again, one battery today. Didn't have a lot of testing time. But what do you want me to test next? Tell me. Be sure to subscribe and share with others. YouTube.com/IrixGuy. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day. Oh, and be sure to share with others too.